Hello and welcome to the Gaptooth Wonder Show, special edition. Tonight, we've got a really special show for you tonight. On my TikTok, we've been talking a little bit about James Gunn and Peter Safran's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, the first phase of the new DCU studios. And one of the things that I heard the most from normies, non-nerd folk, was the question, what is the Batfamily? And the other biggest question was, since when does Batman have a son? So tonight we're going to try to talk about that and answer that question for you, for those of you that don't know. The Batfamily, the short version is Batman sidekicks. But the long version starts with, of course, Alfred. Alfred is Batman's butler, as many of you know. The next biggest member would be Robin. And some of you might be thinking, Robin's lame. Well, you guys, Robin is not lame. He's not lame at all. He's actually one of the greatest characters in comic book history. He has a very long history, and there have been more than one Robin. I know that's a shock to many of you. But there's been a lot of Robins. The first one was Dick Grayson, the original Robin, who first appeared in the 1940s Batman. He appeared in the 1966 TV show. He was in the 1995 and 97 Batman Forever and Batman and Robin movies. He appeared on Batman the Animated Series. In fact, if you really want to know some cool stuff about Robin, check out the two-part Robin's Reckoning on Batman the Animated Series. That's a very good two-parter. But Dick Grayson was the first Robin, and he was Robin for a number of years. Several years, to the point where he was basically like Batman's son. Batman found him at the circus. His parents had been murdered. Batman saw in him what he saw in himself, and took it upon himself when Dick Grayson was maybe 10, 11 years old to train him to be his crime-fighting sidekick. And he was Robin for a number of years. And eventually, depending on what medium you're looking at, they had a falling out. And Dick Grayson decided to go on and help found the Teen Titans. And as a Teen Titan, he eventually stopped calling himself Robin and went by the name Nightwing. So Batman went solo for a few years. And he ran into a kid named Jason Todd, who's probably about 13 or 14 years old, trying to strip the tires off of the Batmobile. And Batman saw something in him and decided to make him the new Robin. So Jason Todd was Robin for a few years. Batman and him were a great duo, but Jason Todd was impetuous. He was very much a character that didn't have a lot of patience. He didn't like taking orders. And in the infamous story Death in the Family, published around, I believe 1990 or 1989, he was killed by the Joker. The comic book even had a gimmick where they let the readers call in and decide Robin's fate, and the readers chose to kill him off. So that was Jason Todd. Then we got to the third Robin, Tim Drake, who was a young guy. He's not an orphan this time. His father was still alive. But basically he was a big fan of Batman. He figured out Batman and Nightwing's identities. And after some soul searching and a rite of passage, defeating the Scarecrow, defeating the King Snake, and a really great miniseries that's simply called Robin, chapter part 1 through 5. So look up Chuck Dixon's Robin miniseries. He became the new Robin, and he was Robin all the way up until, maybe I want to say 2003 or so. And then it was discovered that Batman had a son, a biological son, with his on-again, off-again enemy slash lover, Talia al Ghul. And their son's name was Damian Wayne, the grandson of Ra's al Ghul. So eventually, Batman took in Damian, and Damian went through a lot of training, and he became the new Robin, and he's pretty much been the new Robin ever since. Since that time, over the past 20, 30 years, Jason Todd, the second Robin, came back to life at one point and started calling himself the Red Hood. And initially he was an enemy of Batman, but then he became kind of an anti-hero, and he rejoined the Bat family. Another member of the Bat family is Batgirl. The most famous version being Barbara Gordon, Commissioner James Gordon's daughter. So she's part of the Bat family. And then we also have Batwoman, Cassandra Cain, who is Bruce Wayne's cousin. Also, she's a member of the LGBTQ community. She's got that going on. Who else do we have? We've got Azrael. Azrael was kind of a warrior, religious zealot in the early 90s who was introduced. He was a trusted ally of Batman to the point where during 1993's Nightfall storyline in the comic books, Bane broke Batman's back, and as a successor, Bruce chose Azrael to be the new Batman. So that didn't work out quite as well as Bruce hoped, and he eventually took back the mantle of the Bat. There are a few other Batman, Bat family members. You know, some people count Catwoman as a Bat family member because she's helped them on numerous occasions. There's also the Huntress. The Huntress, Helena Bertinelli, school teacher, who was also the daughter of a mob boss, and she got her family's mowed down by mob violence, and she took a vow to go take out that mob. She's a member of the Bat family. So that's pretty much it. In a nutshell, that's the Bat family. You've got Alfred, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, Tim Drake's later identity, Red Robin. You've got Batgirl, Batwoman, Huntress, Azrael, and those are the 9 I can think of off the top of my head. But the point of the video is to give you guys an idea of where James Gunn is going and why I, as a Bat fan, and many